Good day, word nerds. It is Ink Slinging Monday. I know that you probably came here looking for Kelly, but you can find her on Thursday. We decided to switch this week, so I will be your video host for today. It has taken me 3 long years to find a writing process that works for me. My writing process won't work for everyone, and yeah, I know that saying that it seems kind of redundant that I'm actually going to go forward and tell you about my process, but I think it's really important for you to read up on as much writing technique as you can. That way you can morph everything that you've learned into one process that works for you. Now, there are 2 types of writers in the world. You are either a pantser or you are a plotter. I, as you may well know, am a hardcore plotter. And I mean ridiculously hardcore plotter. You'll see what I mean in a minute. My process starts with something called a beat sheet and index cards. Although in this case, I didn't have index cards on hand, so I found a small notebook that I have on my desk and I tore the pages out, and I've just been using those for the past couple days. Now, I did a video on beat sheets a few weeks ago, and I didn't go as in-depth as I wanted to because I would be there for an hour. But the general idea of a beat sheet is that it separates your manuscript into 4 main parts. In each of those 4 parts, there is a bunch of little subparts that have to go and fit in like a neat little puzzle. Now, what I do is I take index cards and I assign 1 index card for each milestone in each part. Sounds a little confusing, but it's actually quite simple. So I have my 4 different parts laid out here. You got the setup, the response, the attack, and the resolution. And then each card is assigned to a specific milestone in the corresponding part. Then I go back through and I start plugging in scenes on all of these different areas of the manuscript. So if I have an idea for the first plot point, I have it right here on this index card. I have a midpoint here, a pinch point here, the finale is over here, the hook is up here. So it is more visual. I'm a very visual writer. So seeing this all laid out just makes more sense in my head, and I am easily able to attack it. Now, the next part is one of my favorite parts. It's when I take all of this information from my note cards and I plug it into Scrivener. Now, if you don't know what Scrivener is, it is by far one of the best writing apps that I have ever used, and I've tried a few of them. The only downside to it is that Mac users have way more features than the Windows users do. I mean, I'm a PC girl, so I put up with it. But even the PC version, it's great for organizing your thoughts and keeping everything in one spot, and it doesn't crash like another Word-related document thing that I know of. So I take each index card and I plug it into Scrivener. All that you see here, it looks like a very small book. This isn't actually a book at all. It's a blueprint. This is my guide as I'm writing. Now, going along with the blueprint metaphor, once I plug all of this into Scrivener, I have to add new material into all of the spaces to build it up into something book-shaped. Now, after it's all into Scrivener, I write. And a few months ago, that's where my process ended. I wrote it down on Scrivener, and then I would edit on Scrivener, and then that would be it. And then I would have a completed draft. Another thing that I do is after I write out a chapter, and then I run through real quick and revise it, I also write it out longhand. Now, I've only recently started doing this, which is why I only have about 4 chapters written. But I take my book that got ruined and wet, and I write the whole thing out on paper. I'm a fairly quick typer, and while I'm typing, I'm mostly just getting the idea down. And then when I go through and revise the chapter, I'm adding in the prose, I'm adding in all of the buffer pieces and stuff like that. But I'm typing way faster than my brain is moving sometimes. So when you write out longhand, it lets you focus a little bit more on what you're doing and the characters and the situation. This is usually the part where I flesh out all of my dialogue and make it as realistic as possible. Again, this may not work for you. It's very meticulous, it's very detail oriented, and organizing it takes just as much time as writing it does. Sitting here having filmed this, when I go to edit this video, I'm really gonna see how absolutely crazy my process is. But I mean, it works for me. It gets the words on the paper, and at the end of the day, that's just what you gotta do. So thank you for watching. Be sure to check out Calyn on Thursday in my usual spot, and I hope to see you on Sunday when we talk about the Divergent series. I am not done reading the series yet. I'm pushing it as hard as I can. I can only take so much at one time, but I'm getting it in. I think I'll be done by Sunday, and we can talk about Divergent and how much we love it and how much we hate it and what we did love, what we did hate, and all of you in-betweeners like me. So stay classy.